Hello.
Hello.
How we doing, mate?
Yeah, good.
Oh, crazy dad bikers on me already. Look,
You what, mate?
the crazy dad bikers on me already. I can't find my feet. I'm so going to be up Eclipse tomorrow riding his bike.
I think he's in for a lot of wet weather tomorrow.
And we just.
And Sunday don't look too good either.
All right, Cliff, how you doing, mate? Thank you. It's going to be wet and all fucking horrible, but there you go. It is what it
Hello,
is. Right. Does anybody feel brave enough to join? Come on. Come talk to me and Andy. We'll be gentle, I promise. Well,
only until the end. Then we get
only
rough.
the end. Until you get on the vinegar stroke. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, crazy. Your wife's following you everywhere, mate. You're fucked. Yeah, that's better. Do it that way. Ah, dear. So, poor Tracy. Still testing positive after day fucking 9 or whatever it is.
you should. They reckon when me and Michelle had it, they reckon you shouldn't test for up to 3 months after because you'll get false readings.
Well, she's lateral flowing because the advice is now that you do a lateral flow test.
Right.
If you get a clear one on day 5 and day 6, you can go back to work. But we're on
Well,
day 7 or whatever it is, and she's still.
well, I was off for 21 days.
Yeah. But
21
hey,
days.
Hells, do you want to come join us? Hang on. Let's
Oh,
welcome this guy in. Actually, I love this guy. He's brilliant. Let's welcome in Mr. Zed Paul.
Hello. Long time no
Fancy seeing you here, Zed.
Long time no see.
Sorry, I couldn't see you because my mic was blocking where you were.
That's a wee subtle hint on the chat. It's like, am I backstage?
Right, I want the Hells to come in because I want to find out how he's getting on with that bike of his because he wasn't happy last week. So Hells, if you're there, join the live stream, mate. I want to find out. Give us an update on your bike because
that's
he wasn't
after
happy with.
that's after it's come out the shop as well.
Yeah. There was problems. If Hells jumps on, I'll let him explain. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was not happy. He was not a happy man last week, and there was talk of lawyers and all sorts. So
Oh, that gets messy.
mm-hmm. And speaking of the man himself, he is here, Mr. Hells on Wheels.
What's up?
Hey, Hells! He's out in the motor. Look, he's a cager.
Yeah. I've been busy the last 2 days. Got a lot of changes going on, and actually sitting here waiting, buying a new truck. So I just figured I'd stop by and say hi while I'm waiting.
Oh, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your help. I really do. Give us an update on your bike. Last week you weren't happy.
Um, so they're still not returning phone calls, even
Oh,
from the dealership that has the bike has tried to contact them 5 times, and they will not return a phone call. Um, the rear cylinder is knocking now on top of everything else. So I'm going to take it to Daytona, and if it blows, it blows.
damn.
Yeah.
And then who gets the 45 under the chin for that one?
Yeah.
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 But the problem is like we got certain meet and greets where that bike has parts
Yeah.
on it
Yeah.
that
I have to be there.
the
Yeah.
people Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not a good situation. It's not a good situation when they don't return phone calls or want to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. You wasn't happy last week, I must admit. You wasn't happy last week, but damn.
Well, it's a
Is
lot
this
of money. It's a lot of money
is
in
it
that bike.
is it a parts issue or is it a shop issue? Is it? I know I appreciate that you might not be able to talk about quite a lot of it, brother, because it's an ongoing situation.
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
I'm saying, is it a parts problem or is it a shop problem? Was it down to some of the things that were maybe done at the shop? I can appreciate
Well,
that.
there's telltale signs on craftsmanship of how they build it.
Mhm.
Like there was they recognized the problem and they tried to shortcut fixing the problem instead of talking to me, because I understand stuff happens. So I'm not going to be a dick customer and be like, oh no, everything's free. I understand stuff happens. Some of it might be on me. So I don't like the shortcut problems. And there's some telltale signs which I'm trying to keep everything on the download. Let us work this out before I come out and say, all right,
Yeah,
here's everything that happened.
yeah,
But there was a statement said to me about something that was caught, and they're full of crap for making the statement, because I've done enough motor builds to know why you do a certain thing a certain way, and it's because the motor's hurt and you're trying to temporarily fix it. So I'm just a little aggravated because I sat down the other night, and in that motor right now I got 15,000 in the motor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
yeah.
I haven't shortcutted on quality of parts. So why would we shortcut on quality of craftsmanship?
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not happy.
And
Mhm.
and obviously because you've timed this to be happening at the same time as you being at Daytona and stuff like that, that the bike has to be there, as you say, because of you've got certain obligations. It puts a lot of
Right.
pressure on yourself.
Because it's a major tool of what I do.
Absolutely.
It's the major thing that I use for what I do.
Yep.
And especially it's the first rally of the year, one of the big rallies of the year. So I put exactly 280 miles on it from picking up from their shop to when the problem happened. It was 280 miles.
Yeah.
You don't get major
So
fucking mechanical faults in 280
No.
miles.
No.
You get them either
No.
at 0 miles or many, many miles down the road. Yeah. Anybody
correct.
knows that.
You're not blowing head gaskets. You're not got oil coming out the exhaust.
No.
Stuff like that.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Next 2 weeks is going to be frantic for us. We got a whole new rig.
Mm-hmm.
You guys keep your eyes out.
Are you picking up the big rig?
We are picking up the big rig next Friday.
Oh man, I want to see that because you said I can rent that for $49 a night. I can rent the room for $49 a night. And I'm going to hold you to that because I'm going to be in America this year.
Yeah. We measured it out. Just the toy hauler alone is 44 feet 6 inches long.
Wow.
Before we put the truck on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be around 60 foot when I put,
Jeez.
because that's where we're at now. Getting the truck, and basically we're gonna be a tractor trailer rolling down the road.
You will be, man. I'll tell you what. I'm going to be out in Florida October last week September, first week of October. I'm going to rent an electric glide and I'm going to track you down. So I'm going to find where you are and I'm coming to see you. So you better have it ready for. I need a room.
I'm trying to think. We'll probably be around Florida in October, either Bike Fest or Thunder Beach in Panama.
Yeah, last week of September, first week of October. We'll be close by. So
well, that's Bike Fest. That's the October Fall Rally of Daytona.
Yeah, first week of October is the only week I'm going to be there. That's what I've got for my holiday. So I'm going to be renting my Harley, and I'm going to be tracking you down, Hells. You and Crystal, me and Tracy are going to be tracking you down. So.
Well, come on. There's a reason why we got this big rig, is so more of our friends can come and hang out with us.
Absolutely. I want to share a beer with you, man. So, yeah, we're going to be there.
Beer, man. We're going to get the good stuff.
You get me anywhere near that moonshine, and Crazy Dad's already said it once tonight. I'll be a fucking sleep.
Well, I gotta limit myself because I drink too much of it. I get naked and start doing stupid stuff. So,
and when we do meet up, Hells, you got to show me where this academy is that you've got running, because you've got an academy running for the Single Mothers Dance Club. I've got to go see that.
Single Mothers Dance Club, yes.
Yep. Single Mothers Dance Club.
$1
I've got to go and support that.
Hells, there's definitely a t-shirt in that somewhere, brother.
There's got to be. Come on, we've got to have a t-shirt with that on. Single Mothers Dance Club. Support your single mothers. Yeah, come on.
Support them $1 at a time.
Don't worry. You want to go see the Single Mothers Dance Club? I got you covered.
Support your single mothers $1 at a time. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I don't know. Our stuff's just getting crazier because we've been very fortunate. We had 2 more companies call us today, and it's like, hey, would you guys be interested in coming doing what you're doing with everybody else? We want to talk to you.
Fantastic.
So our schedule got even more full for Daytona coming up.
Good.
But very, very fortunate about it. So
it's a good problem to have, brother. It really is. You deserve it as well.
It is.
I must admit.
And I've got to say, well, your live you did on Monday, your giveaway, you did Monday. That was absolutely brilliant. And I'm really disappointed after all that money I sent you, I didn't win. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not cheap. That's a problem. I'm not cheap.
No, I'll tell you what, that was absolutely brilliant. I watched that, and that was absolutely brilliant, mate. And I did comment, and you did reply, but yeah,
I jumped in my pajamas. It was 1 o'clock.
That's one picture you don't want, is Zed in his pajamas, isn't it, really? Let's face it.
I actually think it's quite a nice image.
But yeah, we're doing it again this Monday. I do have a guest. It's the Harley dealership from my hometown. I'm gonna bring them on.
Brilliant!
Them. Yeah. And we got another giveaway. We got 4 more giveaways to do. So, and people that hasn't signed up yet, go sign up. You still got 4 more chances to win something.
Well, absolutely. It's like your Facebook. I can't remember. Crystal said it better than I ever will. It's like something and subscribe to something and do something else, and it's tell us.
Yep, 3 steps. It's you have to be following us on YouTube and like Ciro's Instagram, and you have to like the Facebook pages of Rick Rack and Instagram Ciro, Ciro and Rick Rack Facebook pages, and in that post put hashtag Daytona Bike Week 2022. So, and
there
right
you
now,
go. And that's how you
guys. Because of you guys doing that, we're one of the hot trending items for that hashtag. So
awesome.
Thanks to you guys.
Absolutely awesome. No, you're welcome. So, guys, anybody following this or watching this later, do all those things and you could win. some stuff.
Like, it
yeah.
might be a little bit more than what you normally do, but
Mhm.
we're giving away like $400 some worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's free
figure
stuff.
a little bigger
Hey, man.
prize. Yeah. A little bigger prize, a couple more steps. So
hmm
but
It's big stuff. It's
but-
big stuff. It's free stuff. So come on, people, let's do this. Yeah.
yeah, it's we got $50 gift cards, we got $100 gift cards, we're giving away, so
Mhm.
it's good stuff.
Excellent.
But
Yeah. Awesome, mate.
yeah,
Awesome, mate. Well, it's really good to talk to you, Els, and it's really good to promote this stuff. And I really hope it all works out for you and Crystal. I really do, and I really hope it
man.
gets.
And I hope the
Well,
issues with the bike gets resolved as well in time.
Well,
I
that's
think.
what I was going to move it on to next, Ed. Thank you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
deserve you
yeah.
deserve that bike to be there with you, bro.
it'll
And
be
what's the bike
one way or
called?
another,
Come on,
it will be there.
What's she
What?
called? Come on. What's the bike called? What's she called? Elsian or
My bike's hellacious.
Hellacious? That's it. Thank you.
Yep.
Fucking Hellacious needs she needs some good loving. So yeah. Present thoughts for that one, man.
But the thing is, our stuff that's happened for us is all because of this community. That's what people need to realize. It's all because of the community. It's not because of just us. It's because of the community.
Mhm.
And some other people need to realize that. That's all I say. Some people need to realize you can't do it alone. It takes the whole community to helping each other and working together.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm looking at something else. Sorry. Talk amongst yourself for a minute.
I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna say a big thank you to everybody. And as soon as my schedule slows down, I'll be back on talking shit and raising hell for you guys.
Els, I really look forward to it, man. I really look forward to it.
all the best, brother.
And
Take care.
if I'm not watching anybody's videos, don't take it personal. I have a laundry list. I was talking about this today. I felt so bad because I haven't been able to keep up on everybody's videos with what I'm having to do. But I will catch up and I will support. So don't take it personal.
I know you will. I know you will, man. I know you
It's
will,
all
man.
good.
And we're
It's all
still,
good.
everybody over here is still hashtagging everything small channel map here as well. So yeah, and I've like I've bought into that 100%. So I will always do that. So yeah.
Well, hopefully next month we'll have another big announcement for that because we've been putting our heads together and trying to figure out the best way to pull the whole community together than just the four of us on a show. So hopefully next month we'll have a big announcement of how.
You might cut off then. No, he's gone.
Oh,
There you go.
signal.
He lost his fucking signal, didn't he?
Signal.
Damn.
I know. Such a good boy, man. Such a good boy.
I tell you, he's got such a big heart, that man.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
really has.
Absolutely.
He really has. He really has. And he will support anybody through anything. And my heart goes out to him. He's a wonderful man. But,
Yep, definitely.
yeah. Yeah, you just, yeah. Hashtag your videos. Wow. Oh, bless you. Oh, Exeter Riders in the room. Exeter, how you doing? Are you in your dressing gown tonight, or do you want to join us? Right. Where's Lockwood gone? Or has he gone to bed with fucking
I think Lockwood was working in the morning. So I think he's up early, so it's getting a bit late for him.
Oh, bless him.
I've got a sort of free ride tomorrow. Sunday, all the same. I've got the wee man at the skate park.
Yeah.
The wee man rides a stunt scooter, so.
Oh, awesome.
So like I've got him down. It's like a skate park down in there. It's about 2.5 hours away from me, so got to take him there, and that's about a 4-hour day for me. That's just at the skate park because him and his pal will be going, so they'll ride all day, and I'll just have to sit and watch YouTube.
You can catch up on some of the videos.
Catch up on everyone's videos. Simon, your latest
I'll
one's
tell you what, I've
on the
got so
list.
many to catch. I've got so many to catch up on this week.
Mate, honestly, it's like
I've
it just
started
seems.
following about 15 vloggers
Yep.
in the last week.
My phone has just pinged constantly,
Yeah.
just with the likes of Ayrshire Vlogster, Lockwood, Rev, yourself, Jim. I haven't even checked Jim's Finally Friday. I usually get it, but today in work it was just so busy. I couldn't even. In my lunch break, I think I got about half my lunch break, and then I was back out because the boys that cover me when I'm on my break, they were just absolutely snowed under. So I ended up just coming out because I knew that if I didn't go back out and help them, that none of the work would have got done because we're just absolutely rammed just now at work. So I'm so behind on everything, but it's like tomorrow, well, today because it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will catch up because that'll be a chill day. Sunday will be a bit busy, but tomorrow I'll catch up on everything that I've not seen this week. Just it gets that way, doesn't it? It's like the more you follow, it's like it, and then you get into a certain channel or whatever, and before you know it, it's like you're down the rabbit hole 3 hours, and you've watched like you're up to date with one channel, but you realise you've got another 10 channels to get up to date with.
You find yourself.
This is the link that was posted to me.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's it, Andy. That's exactly.
Click on it at your own risk. Sorry. Somebody just posted a link to me on my Facebook page, so I said, click onto that at your own risk. Go on.
It won't well.
There's Roland in again from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Hope things are all right in Australia, Roland. I hope they're sitting in the
okay.
middle of their summer, so.
Roland, come join us. I'll post a link up. There you go. Right. I have really got to run to the toilet very quickly. I'll be back in a minute.
So Andy, I've got a question for you, like with regards to the BMW, and that's if there's anything that you could change on it, what would it be?
The cost of the bloody thing, I think. It's a lot of money to buy, but I mean, put that aside. I mean, I think the quick shifter needs looking at. I mean, from first to second, it's very sort of jolty, if you like. You know, it's got a bit of a clunk. All the way down the box, brilliant. It blips down the box absolutely beautifully. And when you're giving it the beans, first to second is not too bad, and then obviously all the way up, it's great.
Is there anyone that you've seen like on like the forums or that's maybe taking it to like a tuner? I know like the likes of like
I think it's just out there.
Is it? I know.
I just think
some of
the
the.
box. I don't know why. But to be fair, for me to have a quick shifter on it anyway, doesn't really bother me. But the more I use it, the more it makes sense. To have the shifter on it. But to first and second, I find I don't really use it anyway.
Yeah, but I thought maybe somebody would have had it on a rolling road that would have maybe just primed the ECU just that way to get the niggles out of it, because everybody Kawasaki first gear, the noise of Kawasaki getting into first gear.
It's the clunk, isn't it? I mean, even
the Kawasaki clunk,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I had that remapped and done anyway, and
it doesn't.
Still have it.
So that is sort of one of the wee quirks in the bike. But is there anything else? Is there anything else that you maybe thought, you know what, BMW could have done that a wee bit better?
No, I just think they're a little bit behind, really. I mean, it's a 1250cc engine. I mean,
Yeah.
I reckon they could probably get more power out of it. It's no slouch. I mean, it's what
Yeah.
100 and nearly 140 brake, and it's 105 pound of torque or something at the rear wheel. But
Do you think
yeah,
they're
I mean,
do you think they're maybe sitting in a sweet spot though? You know, it's like
that's the thing.
they know that the power
Yeah,
that they're giving you is going to give them the reliability
the
that they're
thing
looking for.
yeah. I mean, the thing is with it, it's got power. It's got torque from the off.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no lack of torque on that bike.
Yeah.
Even the missus notices it. You know, from when you pull off and you twist that throttle and you go all the way up to
Yeah.
like 130, 140, it just does not stop pulling.
yeah,
And it pulls all the way through in any gear. So they've done a brilliant job with it. It's got the right sort of attitude when you're off road on it as well.
Yeah.
You know, the right
yeah,
torque where you need it. So I think that, you know, they've been developing it for over 20 years. You know, they've
Yeah.
got it bang on.
yeah,
I mean, I looked at other bikes as well, because you know you got the Multistrada V4. It's all in the same price band of what I paid.
yeah,
You've got the new KTM 1290, and they've all got what 40 brake horsepower more.
uh-huh.
I don't think they've got the reliability that BMW's got at the minute.
And that's the thing, that's what I'm saying about BMW. They'll have obviously, I mean, BMW are so finite with all the detail. They've probably looked at they probably pushed that engine right to the limit, and they've probably wound it right back as well. And what they've delivered to the customer probably is the sweet spot, whereas KTM will take the risk because they want the stats to look better than, right, we're market leaders in torque and we're market leaders in this, but reliability,
Yeah, that's
that
it. I mean,
falls by the wayside.
all the power in the world don't really make much difference.
No.
You know, there isn't that many straight roads that I like riding.
Yeah.
You know, on the twisties, I think it knocks spots off of definitely knocks spots off of KTM.
The thing about it is like, as you well know as a biker, is like, and Simon, you'll testify to this as well, is like every bike has its compromises.
Yeah,
It's,
it does. Yeah,
again, Simon, like what would you change in the GTR if you were changing anything? What would it be?
I would put one thing would be a cruise control on it, because you do end up motorway munching. So I want somebody just to relax the wrist.
Yeah.
And the other thing would be I'd change the display to an LCD.
Yeah.
Mechanically, electronically, and everything else, I think it's got everything it needs apart from the cruise control.
Yeah.
I've lived with that bike for 3 years, and to my mind, that's all it needs. It needs a little. It's a very small upgrade.
Yeah.
It needs
and that
modernising.
would make it perfect.
Yeah.
It needs bringing up like LCD screen, electronic suspension, up to date. I mean,
I wouldn't even go electronic suspension. I wouldn't even go electronic suspension on it. The suspension it's got on it, once you set it to what you want, you leave it.
Wouldn't it be good if Kawasaki, like for the likes of, obviously I ride the Gen 1, so I don't have any traction control in ABS, but wouldn't it be good even for a Gen 1 for them to future proof it, to have the output ports to actually install ABS if you wished, traction control if you wished, the likes of yourself, Simon, when you're saying an LCD screen, have that port, and then upgrade, call it a refresh, call it whatever you want to call it, and say, listen guys, we're refreshing the GTR, we're now offering an LCD display, it's a plug in and play, it fits on the same fittings as the screen that you've got. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but do you not think there would be a bigger market out there for stuff like that if they were to listen to customers? They must know themselves. I mean, like, see the likes of mine. It's a long bike, but obviously it has to be a long bike because of the power that's involved in it. But they're still trying to crush you into a small space because it's been tested on a Japanese rider. I'm 6'3". I want a different peg position so that I don't feel as if my knees are over at my ears when I'm riding.
Yeah.
Not that they are. That's an exaggeration, but do you
Yeah, I know
understand
what
what I
you're
mean? It's like all these little things. I don't think there's ever been a bike produced that's been absolutely perfect. I think we would all be naive to think that there had been.
I'll tell you what, if they could bring out the perfect bike, they could have steering groups, they could do this and that and bring out the perfect bike
And somebody would
according to these groups.
yeah,
And we'd all sit there and go, it needs this, it should
Yeah,
have that, it shouldn't
absolutely.
have this, it doesn't need that. You know,
Yeah.
we all would. When you go into like Andy's bike that's got all the electronic adjustable suspension and everything else, Andy, you love it. Me, I hate it.
The only reason I like it is because I can change the modes on the fly. So if it does start to pelt down, like when you read it, I can stick it in rain mode. That dials everything back. It dials back the throttle, it dials back the power. It gives the most sensitive on your ABS because it's got ABS, obviously lean sensitive braking, etc., etc., and it tones it all for that. You know, once the roads dry up and you want a bit more spirited ride, you can then flick it into dynamic, and you then get more of a sporty ride. The suspension stiffens up, the throttle becomes instant, and and everything livens up, and it can just be changed on the fly. It's like the other day I was over Darren's, and then we had to go over somewhere else, the other side of Luton. So on the twisties, I stuck it in dynamic. When the missus got on the motorway, I stuck it in road, and it's like sitting on a carpet of air. It has its advantages, and I get how it has its disadvantages. I mean, yourself from the verses, they were pretty basic, but to put someone on the back, you had to get off, stick your preload up, and muck around. This does it automatically. It's just for me, I think it's the way all bikes are going. That's the thing.
Active suspension is like it's very intuitive. I mean, like the first sort of company I really paid attention to that was dealing with that was Porsche, and what they did was put iron filings in the oil. And basically, what they did was when it needed to stiffen, it magnetized it and it brought the iron filings into the center, which basically created a restriction and meant the oil had to. So it could do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think the other gripe that I've got with the only one gripe I've really got with a BMW now is the service intervals. Every 6,000 miles. This is meant to be a cross country tourer.
Yeah.
Every 6,000 miles, it's got to go in for a service. Every 12,000 miles, it's a valve clearance.
Yeah.
I don't see how a bike needs a service every 6,000 miles.
No,
I can't see how a modern bike would need a valve clearances checked every 12,000 miles.
No,
I can't see that.
No.
The only good thing is with a BMAT, being a boxer engine, it's only about 340 odd quid to get the valves checked.
Yeah, but why do you need to check them at every 12,000 miles?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's because they might need checking purely because there's two valve positions, isn't there? It's a shiftable. So obviously, once different revs, different speeds, the cam shifts from one to the other. So that might be the reason why. I don't know, but I think the service intervals on it are pretty poo, really.
Some of my biggest issues with bikes are that the bikes that they bring out as like the sort of the visions when companies go to these bike shows, and this is the bike of the future, and it's got this and it's got that and it's got everything on it, and you think to yourself, my God, that is absolutely fantastic. And then what happens is the accountants get a hold of them and turn around and say, we can't put that on it, we can't put that on it, and you get such a bland, toned down version of the prototype or whatever you want to call it,
or you get 15 levels of that version. You get your entry level, which is the level that everybody can afford.
Yeah,
and then you want this, it costs this, you want until you're doubling the price.
Simon, see every bike that I've ever owned, I've went stainless, titanium, so on and so forth, and I've changed every bolt that showed any sign of getting any rust on it. And purely because I'm aesthetically, I do not like seeing rust on a bike. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So, like, it might take the 3, 4, 5 years of ownership of that bike for me to go through it from front to back and
Yeah.
change everything on it, because usually what I do is I change it when I see it. Sometimes you don't see it as you're cleaning, and so on and so forth, because it's behind something else, but you eventually get to it. But you've got this usual suspects, like the rear brake manifold, the rear brake reservoir bolts. They're a popular one. Obviously, the catch, and the rear fairing underside bolts as well, that catch all the crud off the road. They're a common one, that the heads of them absolutely deteriorate away. Why did they not just produce a bike? I mean, like, on our roads, it's salt, it's water.
Mhm.
They're going to get
Yeah.
that constantly. Stainless steel, marine stainless. That's what
Yeah.
I fit. If I'm changing a bolt out, I look for the marine stainless equivalent.
Why not make them all plastic rivet bolts that you can replace every time you fucking use for
Yeah.
50p a pop?
Yeah.
Do it that
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Do it that way.
Yeah.
You can have a nice black or any colour you want.
Yeah.
In the plastic, and it's a plastic rivet bolt. We go, you pop. 9 times out of 10, you can use it again.
Yeah.
And 1 time out of 10, you got to go, fuck it, I've got to replace that for 10
Yeah.
pence. Or whatever it is.
Totally agree. I don't understand it, and it's I don't know what it is. Is it a manufacturing? Is there a reason for the manufacturing side of
I
it?
don't
Is it?
know. I don't know. I wish I knew, but yeah, I agree with you on the bolt part of it. But
It
I
gets,
mean,
it gets frustrating. It's like even the sense of, it's like you're buying maybe a brand new bike at 10 grand, and it doesn't have stainless steel headers, and you're like, what?
every
In
single
this day and
fairing
age?
bolt. Every single fairing bolt on my GTR. My GTR is a 2015 model, the latest gen, and every single fairing bolt on that bike I have replaced at one time or another because it went rusty or whatever.
Yeah.
And the big ones are more the brake pad pins. I've replaced them, and the brake pad caliper bolts. I've replaced them.
Yep.
And after this winter, they're all fucking orange again.
Yeah. Well,
And no matter what cleaning I do,
I'm
the
just
first
about
time it rains, they will be orange again.
the front fork pinch bolts. I'm just about to change them for titanium. That's what I do. I've gone down the titanium route now. I go to like it's Race Fasteners, the name of the company, and like that's what I do. It's like, if I know for a fact that the front wheel will be coming off soon, because I want to change out the front mudguard. I'm going to go down the road of carbon fibre for that. Not right away, but it's on the cards. So I know that the front spindle will be coming out, and that's what will be happening. The original pinch bolts will not be going back in because they're orange. And if I'm looking at the bike, that's what I see. If I'm seeing it, somebody else has seen it, and I don't want anyone else. Do you understand that?
I don't think I'm going to be keeping the BMW. I wouldn't keep it out of warranty. I mean, I've got a 3-year warranty with it. So within the next, well, I've not had it a year, but probably not next year, but the year after, I will be changing it for another one. I know BMW are bringing out the 1300, so I'll be looking at that. But
right,
so I won't keep it quite long enough to have to do that.
The thing about it's like with my ZZR, Andy, is like I finish paying that bike off in November, so I own the bike outright. So
I 100% get it. If you're keeping the bike, I mean,
trying to future proof it, because
exactly.
like what will happen with that is, because I see that bike as a future classic, because it's a Gen 1, it's the first of the line. All the you'll get all the Gen 2 same, but this is no, the Gen 1, that was the first hyper bike. It doesn't have traction control, doesn't have ABS. And I know for a fact in 10 years, 15 years' time, the purists, that's the bike they'll be looking for. They don't want it what the class is dumbed down. I don't think it's dumbed down. I think it's more sensible having the traction control in ABS, because sometimes in a 1400cc bike, it can get away from you pretty quick. But
it can get away from you on any size bike with
yeah,
in the wrong weather.
But I feel the Gen 1 will be the bike that'll be most sought after. So I'm at that stage that come November, do I retire that bike and do I sit that bike on its paddock stands and wait until I retire and then bring it back out and run it then? Do I sell it then? Do I buy another bike in the meantime? It's like I'm thinking of it as an investment now. And that's where I'm going down the road of the bolts and stuff like that.
It's all right. I just see there Simon's blocked MT Belly.
I know, I've done that by accident, and I can't unblock him. I don't know how to unblock him. I'm really. I've got a bot coming, so I was trying to block the bot, and I've fucking blocked the wrong person. I can't unblock him.
Well, hold on. No, I can only. I went on. I tried to go onto the V3. Can you go onto the V3 buttons that are in the comments, Simon? Because you're the administrator, obviously. On
I can't go on to his V3 buttons because I blocked him. It's blacked him out, so I can't do that. MT Belly, I'm really sorry.
You're on the naughty list.
I've had 3 bots come in tonight, and he said about a bot, and I went to block, and I fucking blocked him instead. I'm really sorry, MT.
No Russians, no Russians tonight, Simon. That's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
What? So, Andy, you were talking about the new bike that BMW's got. Is that the one that takes your fancy?
Yeah, I've got enough money in the Beamer anyway. To if I chopped it in next year, because when I said to the guy, look, I said I won't keep it for longer than 3 years. He says, you've got enough money in the bike. He said, I'll be giving you a ring in a year, 2 years to say, yeah, the new one's out, come and try it.
Yeah.
And that's going to have, obviously mine's got cruise control and everything, but the new one, I think they're going to put the RT screen on it, which is a bigger screen. It's a full sat nav screen as well. Adaptive cruise, blind spot mirrors, etc. But I was watching a video earlier actually about the blind spot mirrors, and they were comparing the GS with the Multistrada off road.
Right.
And obviously, the first thing that's going to go when that bike hits the floor is the wing mirror.
Yeah.
And I dread to think how much one of them wing mirrors costs on a Multistrada if you ping it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, is it a good idea? I don't know.
And the blind spot mirror being that if there's something in your blind spot that the indicator flickers, is that the one?
Yeah, same as a car.
Yeah,
exactly the same as a car. I know they've got to redesign the front and the back of the bike to accommodate the radar. So whether it will keep the GS look, I don't know. I mean, I was drawn to the GS because I like adventure style bikes. Always have. I can't see me riding anything else, to be honest. And there's nothing else out there, I don't think, at the moment that's got the bulletproof reliability that BMW are offering. 3 years no quibble warranty, 3-year worldwide breakdown. They've got a good PCP system running.
Me and Andy, me and you had that. Me and you, Andy, we had that chat, didn't we? Where you said before you got it, and you said, look, it's like it's my style of bike, and that is like the pinnacle of the style of bike I've got. You can't go upwards from that. BMW is the top of the range, and
I appreciate that because that's exactly the way I feel about the 1400 as well.
Everyone loves their own different style of bike.
Yeah.
You've got people who love the sports. You've got people who love their nakeds. I mean, I love the naked bike, but to be honest, after 20 minutes of 70, 80 mile an hour, I just want to get off it because I'm being hacked in the face.
I had a ZRX 1200S. I had a ZRX 1200S, and that was half faired, so it had the upper fairing, but it didn't have the lower fairing. But you could buy a lower cowl for it, and it was classed as a muscle bike. It only had 5 gears, And to get the 6 gears, you had to take the gearbox from a ZZR 1200, and you also had to take the cams to give you the higher end of the torque, because it was the same engine. The ZRX 1200S, if you were to offer me one right now over the 1400, I would take it, because I probably gelled with that bike more than I've gelled with any bike. Over the 16 months that I had that bike, I rode it very, very hard. And every time I needed it to be under me in a corner, it was there. And
I think you get that kind of feel on a bike.
you
though,
do,
don't
you do, absolutely, 100%. It
Yeah.
wasn't aesthetically, it wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be, but it was a cracking bike. But the problem with the bike wasn't a bad problem, in the sense that the ZRX range, they had the S, which was the half faired, and the R, which was the Eddie Lawson race replica. I don't know if you're aware of that. With it's like a Kawasaki ZRX 1200S, and then you had the 1200R, which was the Eddie Lawson race replica with the Kawasaki green and white colours. So what was happening was, a lot of the ZRX owners were buying S's and converting them to R's. So the amount of S's on the road was starting to go down. So when I took my bike in, and I was actually I had a ZZR 600 at the time. I was taking it in for an MOT because a guy was wanting to buy it. And the 1400 was sitting in the showroom, and the guy, I was talking to the boy in the showroom, and he's like, he told me the history of that, and he's like, "You've got the 1200." I said, "Aye." He's like, he went on to the website, and he's shaking his head, and I'm like, "What is it?" He said, "I'm looking at the book price right now." And he said, "And I can't offer you the book price." I was like, "How not?" He says, "Because it's not enough." Because the bike was selling for probably about £800 or £900 over the book price, because so many people were taking the S and converting them to R's, that the S was becoming a rare bike and more sought after. So the value actually went up. So for me, changing from the 1200, which I loved, to the 1400 was more of a financial decision than it was anything else. It was just the right time to sell the bike, if you understand that.
I mean, it's like now. I mean, the second-hand bike market and car market has exploded.
Yeah.
People are buying cars and then 2 years later selling them for more than what they bought them for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's because of trouble with the supply lines, isn't there? You can't get fucking new stuff in.
I mean, everyone sort of like, gets on their bike. I mean, I used to be able to ride my Versys, quite comfortably, throw it around bends, stick the misses on, and try and get a foot peg on the floor. But it never had much front end feel. I found the Versys,
Right.
and sometimes you would have to wrestle it into the corner.
Yeah.
Where the Beamer just wants to go into a corner. You tip that, and it feels like you could tip it into a 90-degree bend and let go of the bars, because it just wants to go into the corner.
See,
which is weird on an adventure bike.
As I say, with the 1200S, it was a set of, I bought it as it was. It had a set of Renthal bars on it, which was the straight bars. And my mate came up with a MT10 SP, and he struggled to keep up with me in the corners, because these Renthal bars, it was very much like that, Andy. It's like any corner you showed it, but it was effortless. The bike just tipped in. It just and
I think that's what helps with a Beamer. I mean, my bars are a meter wide.
From
bar end to bar end.
Yep.
I think also the low down Boxer engine, it just tips in.
Yeah. That's a big thing. That's a big thing with the ZZR 1400 as well. It's like, Simon, you'll get that yourself as well. It's like all the weight is low down. It's like, my mate's got a GSXR 1000. It's a K3, and he picked my bike up. He's like, let me throw my leg over. And I said, bye, fire in. And he threw his leg over, and he actually, I could see him putting a lot of effort into standing the bike up, and he almost overbalanced because the bike come up that fast. He's like, I didn't expect that to come up as fast. He says, you've got to remember the weight of these bikes is all low down.
Yeah.
You only feel it. You only feel it when you're braking. That's the big thing.
Yeah, or when you're trying to stop it from falling over.
Oh yeah, that as well. That.
Well, I think the thing is with mine at the minute, I've still got the stock tyres, which are sort of like semi-trial tyres, so they're semi-off-road. So I'll be interested to see what it's like when I put some road tyres on it. I think from what I've read, it will transform the road handling, but obviously you lose that sort of bit of gravel holding. I mean, I go over on my last bike, I would avoid the shit in the middle of the lane. You know, you just won't ride on it. On this thing, you go over it because you don't even know you're on it, which is kind of scary. It just throws it out and it just doesn't track. It just handles it, and you're just like, it's really weird. Normally, I'd be sort of like scared death going on that.
Right.
But on this, you just forget it and go over it.
Tires. That how many arguments and how many bike forums have ever been started with tires? It's like, see, to be quite honest, it's like I remember when I first got my ZZR 600 that I bought a set of, I think it was Maxxis Conti Motion. It was Maxxis just come into the market. This was, bearing in mind, this was 2009, and they brought out a tire called Conti Motion, and everyone slated me on the forum for buying these tires. And I did research onto that tire, and Maxxis actually bought the molds from the Avon. It wasn't the Avon Storm, it was Avon's tire before the Storm. Maxxis bought that mold, and they were molding tires using the same compound rubber, but couldn't call it an Avon, so called it the Maxxis. And everyone slagged me for that. Even people who, I swear by the Avon Storm, Avon this, that, and the next thing. But how many arguments start with tires, and then don't get me started in engine oil.
That's the thing. Tires are a personal preference. I mean,
Of course they are.
Simon likes his Angels, I believe, the STs.
Pirelli Angels, yeah.
Yeah.
I love my PRs. I love my PR5s. I had the 4s. I had the 5s. I'm throwing the 6s on the Beamer. The only thing is they're 330 quid a set for the Beamer.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a new tyre, I'll give them a go.
I think it's Bridgestone BTO 23s I've got on mine.
Yeah, it's just getting the longevity out, and where I do a lot of 2-up riding. I get anywhere between 5 and 6,000 miles out of a rear usually.
Yeah, so obviously you're needing the sort of harder compound in the middle with the softer
exactly
edge on them. So
exactly, that's exactly why I like the Michelins, really, because they'll dual compound. And you know, I think again, it's just a personal preference.
It's like underpants and socks, isn't it? It's like whatever's comfy for you. But people get so emotionally wound up about it, don't they? They can't. If you've got a different opinion from them, they get offended by it. You're like, chill out. It's like, if you like them, fair play. You get them again. But I had them on my bike and I didn't quite like them. I didn't gel with them for whatever reason it was. It might not even have been the right reason, but it was my reason.
Yeah. It's like I mean, I'm getting used to the tyres that are on here at the moment. When you're pushing it hard into a corner, you can feel the block movement, which is a bit unnerving at first. But then you know it's normal after you've done a few thousand miles. You know it's normal, so you sort of like ignore it. But like I said, I might put the PR5s on this, and it just might not like it.
Yeah,
put the 6s on or whatever. But I'll give them a go because I've always had good results with them. They've never let me down. So I'll see how they go. So I think Simon's looking.
I'll tell you what, I'm trying to find out how to unblock fucking empty belly, and I can't fucking figure it out.
Oh dear!
Someone's just put instructions up there at the bottom there, I've highlighted.
Simon, have you got a Monopoly set in your house?
I'll tell you what, I've got a Monopoly set in my house. I'm going to throw it in the fucking air in a minute.
You need to get a get out of jail free card. That's what you need to.
I've got a couple.
Oh dear.
What
I'll
next?
figure. Empty belly. I'm really sorry. I will figure out how to do it, and I'll unblock you. But yeah, it ain't happening right now.
Oh dear.
Oh God! Don't you just hate Friday night?
Only when I got work in the morning. Other than that, no, I don't mind.
No.
I know it's like I'm golden tomorrow. First time in a long time. It's like no responsibilities tomorrow, so it's all good.
See you all,
Yeah.
Exeter. Exeter.
Well, apparently he's not setting off. He's sitting off.
Oh, he's
yeah.
sitting off.
Yeah.
We're getting off.
Take care, buddy. I'm surprised he ain't been blown away because he's at that part of the country where it really got hit by shit today.
Yeah,
It really did, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, bless him. But no,
Things
thank you for you two for keeping the live stream going while I was trying to work that out because I can't work that out.
It's all right. We're just it's all
Mrs.
bites, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
it's all sharing experiences and stuff like that. It's like there's always something. I mean, like here's another one, Andy. You do a lot of sort of long distance ridings. Like, what would you say was essential gear to take with you? Like, be it waterproofs, be it what would be the essential kit?
The wife to carry the luggage.
I know you were talking about the wee pack with the cables.
The wife to carry the luggage. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, the missus to carry the luggage for sure. But I think it's just the normal stuff, really, isn't it? I mean, everyone takes gaffer tape, cable ties because it's inevitable. Something's going to fall off of someone's bike. You can either cable tie or a gaffer tape it on. Gear wise, I use a lot of Gore-Tex Pro stuff. I've done my time of putting over trousers on in the summer when it rains and you put your over trousers on. You're getting just as wet from bleeding sweat and condensation as well. So for me, and also, the BMW is extremely comfortable, but I do use an air hawk seat because that helps as well. But it ain't me that's the limit; it's the missus on the back. After an hour and a half, 2 hours, the missus wants to get off for a bit.
Yeah.
Me, I will sit on a bike for 8 hours and not get off it, and I'll iron butt right through, but she won't. But yeah, touring wise, just think of what you want to take, and then throw half of it away because you ain't going to need it.
Yep.
What a lot of people do is they'll take too much stuff away.
Yeah.
You want to remember you're in your bike gear all day long.
Yeah.
So in the evening you've got a t-shirt on for 3 or 4 hours that you're going out. Well, that t-shirt's going to last you 3-4 days. So you don't need, if you're away for 10 days, you need 4 t-shirts. You don't need 10 t-shirts. A lot of people make a mistake, take too much stuff. You just don't need it. And it's only something you learn by doing it year after year after year after year.
Do you find that if you're organising an event away, do other bikers pay attention to how many miles they've actually got on their tyres?
I don't think so.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's down to other people. I mean, we went away once with one of the lads, and he had a GS. And me and Darren both said to him, "Are you changing your tyres before you go?" He goes, "No, I've got another 1,000 miles on them yet." I'm like, "Well, we're going to be doing 1,600. No, they'll be all right." And he struggled the whole trip because he just couldn't go around. These tyres were square.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I will always put new tyres on a couple of days before I go away so I can scrub them in, and I'll always go away with a brand new set of tyres.
Yeah.
I did that with you on the last trip, Dandy, didn't I? I had a brand new set I put on just for the trip. I mean, the ones I took off had miles left, but I was like, no, we're doing X amount of miles. I want new rubber. I want to go away on new rubber. I usually ride just me on the bike. I'm now putting the wife on the bike with luggage on the bike, and we're doing a lot of miles. So I want new rubber on there because it's going to wear different as well.
And it's one less thing to worry about as well.
I'll always put new rubber on.
Absolutely, yeah.
even if you've got sort of like you've only had tyres on that have done 2,000 miles, I'll
Yeah.
take them off. I'll store them in the garage, and when the set I've put on for the trip have run out, I'll run them other set of tyres through the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
it
mean,
costs-
we're fortunate. We got a mechanic that will swap tyres over of whatever you want. So, he does it for a score of time. So, yeah,
It's, yeah.
we're going away. We're going away, and it is different riding pillion and luggage,
that I used
and
to take.
yeah.
Always used to take a clutch cable for the bike. Well,
just
all
what you
the
did,
Versys
brilliant.
go through 'em. Yeah, the Versys used to go through them, so I always used to take a clutch cable.
Yeah.
He always used to break at the fucking top and all, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they always went to the
And
top.
it never gave you no warning. You could open it up, look at it one day, and the next day it fucking snapped.
Yeah, they were fuckers for that.
It was a cunt. It really was. And it weren't a fucking easy one to put in, was it? Yeah.
That was a bugger and all. Yeah, no, I get. Yeah, no. Yeah, other than that, I love touring. I just want to get back into Europe. I'm not
Right.
going this year.
Can
I'm-
I just say, we got somebody who's going to join the stream now. Can we give him a warm welcome? He is Crazy Dad Biker. Hello,
Can you
mate.
hear me?
How you doing?
You're right.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Simon,
doing,
you're
man?
I'm a what?
you're a dinosaur. You can't follow simple instructions on the list.
I followed them and it didn't work. Not on my app anyway. So yeah. Poor
Yeah, you
MT.
Go
Yeah.
go to your YouTube app. Come on, I'll help you step by step.
You're gonna want to talk me through this now.
Yep,
He had
gonna do
one,
it now.
Well,
yeah, he had to have one eye closed, and I'm sure he had his tongue out at some point as well.
You do it a
Got me fucking tongue out now. Right, hang on, let's open up the phone so we make it big font. All right, there you go.
Yeah, well,
Big
or you
fuck.
can see here
Right, YouTube.
at the top. It will say Simon, or I can't see what the logo says. So probably an S.
Mm-hmm.
Found that.
So,
Yeah.
Andy, what are you doing tomorrow?
Then go down to settings.
sleeping.
I thought we'd have our conversations while they're
on.
sorting this. It's like two streams in the one.
You found that bit, Simon. Come on.
Hang on, YouTube. Simon,
Oh,
Well,
my
that's Simon. That's Pornhub. Get off.
manage your
Get off.
account.
Not even at the first step.
Yeah, this is.
Can we not just carry on at the show and do this tomorrow?
We could, but you'd still be drunk then.
There's no settings on this.
There is.
There
I
isn't.
reckon we should all have a look, see where he's going wrong.
Yeah. I reckon everyone should just send you screenshots of where you're being stupid.
Block contacts, nothing.
Simon,
There's nothing in block
look at the
contacts.
top, the logo. Look, top.
Yeah,
See that pink thing?
I ain't got a pink thing.
No, you won't have a pink thing. You might have a blue thing.
I got a Simon GTR thing.
Yeah, press the Simon GTR thing. There you go.
Yep.
And then it'll say
I found it
settings.
straight away. Look, block content.
Yeah, exactly. See? Someone with a brain, Andy.
You click on your little icon
Right.
at the top, which takes you to your channel, and
Yep.
then click on settings.
Blocked users, which is where I am,
Yeah.
I look, I blocked
and there's
anyone.
nobody in there.
How the hell have you blocked him then?
Nothing to do with StreamYard. You've
I
only
don't
blocked.
fucking know.
It'll be StreamYard you've blocked him on, not on YouTube.
Yeah,
So you need
Oh.
to go into the StreamYard settings.
which I've looked on all the settings on here, and I spent fucking 20 minutes ignoring everybody doing that, and I
No.
couldn't find him. So
And it's
How-
Simon.
Have you tried switching it off and switching it back on again?
I'll tell you what, I'll do that, and you lot fucking disappear. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do one thing here. I'm going to do something here I don't do very often. Hang on.
He's going to pay for a round of drinks.
I'm going to drink the peach brandy, see if that helps. Fuck it.
Oh.
MT, I love you dearly. I'm really sorry, but you can't comment.
I know.
And I'm
MT,
going to
he
have a
meant
peach brandy.
he's lo-
There you go. I've tried fucking everything sideways. I've looked everywhere, and it's not like those. You can block this. You've blocked this person. Do you want to unblock him? There isn't anything on StreamYard that does that. So, MT, Tina, everybody, I love you all dearly. But there you go.
Crazy Dad Biker, have you got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have just started doing it.
How many
So-
followers you got?
Very little, I think. I don't know.
Have a look.
Worth-
Go on, quick, tell us. Have a look.
What does, is it Crazy Dad Biker and is like one word or is it split
Yeah,
up into?
it's all one word. I think. I don't know. I only just set it up.
I'm trying to
How
find
many
it.
we got?
How many
shit.
videos you got up?
None. Literally, I've only just set up the
Right, okay.
drift camera on the helmet.
Yep.
Oh, excellent. What bike
And
you
then-
got?
LXR.
125, yeah?
Yeah. But I'm booked in next
You're
month.
Milton Keynes, aren't you?
No, I'm Kettering.
That's close enough.
It's close enough.
You got to
Yeah.
come down to Super Sausage Sunday. Sorry.
That was windy up there.
I'm going to do a super
Mhm.
sausage run.
You got to come down to Super Sausage Sunday. You got to come see me in Red Bomb. Yeah. Mr. GSA Tractor over there. He
He's
might be
outside.
there and all.
Or that
It's going to be
side.
wet Sunday. I'm staying
Yeah,
at
that
home.
side.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Mr. GSA Tractor's made of sugar, and if he comes out in the rain, he might fucking dissolve. So he won't be.
Oh,
I've
oh,
had enough again.
don't stand for that, Andy. Don't stand for that.
No, he
No.
fucking agrees to it.
I've done my time in the fucking torrential weather and the snow. Enough's enough.
He has. I'll tell you what. Hats off to him. He has. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm going to Super Sausage tomorrow. To go, well, once Rev Bomb actually gives me my bike back.
Really?
He's only had it a week.
And it ain't fucking fixed yet. I'll tell you what.
That's
I'd
right.
have a word with the clip. I really would.
God knows. He says it. He said I'll pick it up tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see whether he's actually done his job.
Well, tell him then if you can pick it up tomorrow, then he's got to pay for your fuel to go to the fucking Super Sausage.
It's probably got left. The man they've left it outside idling. Probably got. I'm probably going to get it back on the road.
Fucking hell. Hang on.
So
There's another one to block.
Simon,
you
you might
did
need.
that one.
You got the right one, did you?
I got the right one this time. Yeah. Fuck knows, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I'm doing. But there you go.
I set it all up. I don't know. You ask me crazy questions, and I haven't even got a clue. Yeah, sign into that one. What's I say? Yeah.
It's gone quiet.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah.
broken?
Problem is, this writing on the phone's really small. Oh, look, I can zoom in on the screen. Hey, where'd
There
it
you
go?
go.
Where'd it
Oh,
go?
sorry. Do you want it back again? There you go.
Thank Yeah, it's probably best with skirts to change your tyres, but I don't think it's always needed on the car.
No.
You can tell by the dot code on the side of the tyre anyway.
Yeah. Usually can. It's got the year on it. So.
Yeah.
Year on.
Oh. Yes,
it's-
it.
it's-
Pull your fucking underpants out your
Oh.
arse.
I know. Simon, this G string is cutting me in two.
Where-
That's because you're wearing it back to front.
Oh Christ, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Thanks
Did
for
I
that
send
image.
you? Did I send you a pair of Andy's underpants? Oh man! Oh come on! I'll tell you, we've got no notification that Military Biker's doing a live tonight, has he? He's not, is he?
No, I haven't seen it. I don't think he will be.
Nah.
He's more likely to do one about 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow night than he is on a Friday night now.
He is.
That's the way it's been going.
Bless him. God bless him.
His new bike looks all right though, eh?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, yeah, that Manchester Mancunian red. It looks good.
I was actually going
to Manchester City badge to stick on it. A little sticker.
I was actually going to say to him, I was like, hey, Stevie, it was fantastic you getting a new bike, and I know whoever it is that get your sports to rest, she'll be really happy with it.
That would have gone down really well. I wish I'd thought of that last weekend while I was absolutely pissed at his fucking chat. I was no. Don't even go there.
Send the post.
I'll tell you what, I don't even know why I clicked on the link, because I knew I wasn't going to say a lot and do anything, and I was fucking going to embarrass myself.
That's what happened.
I saw the link come up and went, yeah, fuck it. Yeah. I'll click on that. And he invited me in straight away. I'm like, oh, fuck. I mean,
I know. I've been there and I've wore the t-shirt many a time.
I just sat there and I thought, oh, fuck. I'm here now.
I have been that soldier. See, as soon as Stevie sees me drinking that in the wee box down in the left hand side, he's like, "Right, get his head on."
Yeah, I'm imagining that.
How you doing? Yeah. I'm all right.
He really only interacted with me once, and he was like, "Yeah, Simon, it's really late. What's the time over there now?" I'm like, "It's 2 a.m. Nice bite, Steve. Ta-ra."
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
All right, Dino.
He is a good lad, Stevie, though. He really is. I mean, like...
I'll tell you what, he's fantastic, and he is so hyper on these streams. It's...
See the thing about it is... the thing about it is like... Stevie was the first person that ever invited me onto a live stream, and I was shitting myself because I had seen the type of... I mean, like, everyone that Stevie... You know yourself, is like... The guys that he gets on his live stream, they're all 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 subscribers, and like I'm sitting there like we Jimmy from Scotland with 300 subscribers. Like, hi, how you doing? They're like,
Johnny.
Half the time they don't even know what I'm saying. Which is funny, but no, he was the first person to do it, and he gave me the time, and I've got a lot of time for him, and like, honestly, like, see, anytime Stevie's got a live stream, he always messages me privately and he says, "Listen, man, I want you on." And I always appreciate that, because he's got the trust in me to bring me onto a live stream, because he knows that I'm not going to be that guy, if you know what I mean. And the likes of yourself, Simon, you bringing me on as well, I appreciate that, because
no worries.
You obviously know that I'm not going to be that idiot that ruins your live stream.
I've got to tell you about that, actually. Bringing you on, and Lockwood having you on a live stream. I have a lot of American followers, and I'm on another Discord server where they all talk, and they follow me, and it's sort of like hit miss. But I had a few messages one day about those two guys you had on talking in them accents. Where are they from? I had trouble understanding them.
It's like when the military bikers get what's their name? It's no Bike Spears and Brews, because that's the boy from out the what's the name of them? It's Austin and I can't remember the name, but they've got a channel and there's three of them on it, and it's all about bikes and it's all about beer. And they go on the live stream, they'll open a few cans of beer, and anytime I'm on, Stevie always has to translate for me, because as soon as I got onto that,
Yeah.
the Scottish starts to speed up.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like I could be, and Stevie understands exactly, because Stevie was, if you probably do know, but Stevie was in a Scottish infantry.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So he knows, he's been in amongst it for all these days. So he knows when a Scotsman's had a few drinks, he can understand what they're saying. So I was on a live stream, right? So I'm sitting and I'm just vibing. I'm just talking away, and I can see Stevie out the corner of my eye, and he's actually translating. And the two of them were sitting like that, talking to each other. Like, what's he saying? What's he saying? And I'm talking away, and Stevie's translating for them. It was hilarious.
Brilliant. Brilliant. But
I
yeah,
got my training when I was younger. I used to watch a lot of Rabsy Nesbitt.
Oh, Rabsy Nesbitt's brilliant.
When
You
I
see-
first started watching Rabsy Nesbitt, I used to have the bloody subtitles on to understand
Yeah.
what he was saying. But now I'm there.
And they see, the thing about it is like, I've met Gregor Fisher, who played Rabsy Nesbitt. I've met him in real life because I went to a live showing of Rabsy Nesbitt. They did a show, and it was Rabsy Nesbitt coming back from Italia. Was it 96? Was that right? Italia 90. I think was it 90? Italia 90. So they did, Rabsy Nesbitt did a whole sketch around that, where Rabsy Nesbitt went missing for 3 months, but that's where he was. He was away over at the World Cup on his gyro. So they did a tour all over Scotland with Rabsy Nesbitt, and I went to the Clyde Theatre and we watched, and that was when it was Rabsy Nesbitt and Elaine C. Smith, his wife, and all the
Wee
other
Wayne.
cast, and Wee Burnley, Eric Cullen, his name was. They were all there. So the thing about Clyde Theatre is like, at the end of it, when you went into the bar, the actors come into the bar, and I met Gregor Fisher, and you couldn't have met a more polite guy in all your life. He stays in he stays in Mulgai. He's like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And you're like, it's like, "Oh yeah, wait a minute, wee minute, man." He's like, it was none of that. It was like, "Hi, how are you doing? I'm very pleased to meet you." And it was like, and you're like, it was the polar opposite to where he was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as soon as I met him, I thought to myself, "You're a fantastic actor. You're and I've got a lot of appreciation for him. He is brilliant."
Yeah, brilliant.
I have to get me kicks with Mrs. Brown's boys now.
See that show live. That show live is absolutely fantastic. Brendan O'Carroll, who plays Mrs. Brown, is hilarious, because see, if you watch the series all along, he plays a game with the cast. He always tries to catch the cast out, because what he does is he traps them in a corner and then he goes off script.
Yes.
And they panic because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of Mrs. Brown Boys. That's where the comedy is.
It's all off script. Yeah.
Yeah, totally, 100%. He's so sharp, and he knows
He's
when
brilliant.
he can do it and
he's
how he
very
can do
funny
it.
man. Yeah.
Yep. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But again, when you see him in the stage door, as opposed to him being dressed as Mrs. Brown, to be short guy with a bald head, you're like, it's like, all right, can I get your autograph? It's brilliant.
No, it is funny. It is funny.
I'm watching a thing on Sky Comedy just now, and it's John Goodman that's in it. It's called The Righteous Gemstones. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
Right, go on to Sky Comedy, and please, if you do anything, watch even they've got a pilot episode. It's the first in the series. It's 50 minutes long, and I can guarantee when you watch the first one, you will watch the rest of it. It's called the Righteous Gemstones. They run an evangelistic church in America, but they're into so many sordid things that it's so funny. It's like a comedy of capers. You'll love it. You really will. It's a good cast as well.
That's cool. So what have you got planned for the us when we come up in June? Is there any
There's-
ideas?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll have
There's
us for the Friday, Saturday.
yeah.
That's what
there-
Saturday, Sunday, should I say?
So I mean,
obviously
like
head up round here.
there's a couple of runs that we can do. There's like basically where we are, where we're based, we can leave from Largs. We can get a ferry over to it's what's it called? Let me Dunoon. It's Gourock to Dunoon. So it's a small ferry crossing. I think the ferry crossing, what you can do with the ferry crossing is there's a shop about a mile away from the ferry. So you can go in there and you can buy a book of tickets. So it's cheaper to buy the book of tickets and everyone gets the tickets. It ends up as a fiver to cross the water on the ferry. So it's a wee bit quicker to get to where the good roads are. So
Yeah.
but what it allows us to do is do a massive big loop. So you can cut out a wee bit of time because see from where we stay going to Loch Lomond, you've got the Erskine Bridge, M8, motorway. You've got Dumbarton, traffic lights, roundabouts, Boring. Believe it or believe it not, right down the side of Loch Lomond were Luss, Tarbert, Boring, tailbacks, so on. It's rubbish. See, when you get to Arica going towards Tyndrum to the right hand side, or Arica going up to the Rest and Be Thankful, that's where it opens up, and that's biking territory. So that's where we want to be taking you. We want, if we do it in the way we haven't actually discussed it between like Mark and Lockwood and myself, what we're going to do when you come up, but it will be something like that. If we leave from Largs, if it's Largs or wherever it is you are at the time, we can leave at 9 o'clock. We can go across the Dunoon ferry. We can go to the old military road. We can actually then go to Inverary. We can go to Oban. We can go through Glencoe, back to Tyndrum, and then back over the Dalmally Pass, Inverary, and then over the Rest and Be Thankful, and come back to wherever it is that we're staying. If you're localised in Glasgow in that way, at that
I
time.
think we're south of Glasgow in a travelling.
So-
Because obviously we're coming up and we're staying not too far, actually, about 40 minutes from Loch Lomond.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to do the 500.
Yeah.
Jump over the Sky, do a bit up there, and then
Yeah, but we can take you like going from Glasgow, like before you even get to the 500s further up north, obviously, than where we will take you. But I can assure
we're
you
going to
that
do. We're staying in Inverness Thursday night, and then Friday we're heading down to yourselves in Glasgow.
Aye.
Be there Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I mean the roads that we can take you on, you're going to love. You're going to love. The scenery is phenomenal.
We are staying at the Holiday Inn Express in Strathclyde, just off the M74 Junction 5.
All right, that's just off Strathclyde Park, right? Okay,
that's where we're going to be staying.
So I mean, even from there, if we are meeting you there, or whether we direct you to come a wee bit closer to us or whatever it is, but where we take you from there, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it.
And sort of
couldn't just put some decent weather, could you?
Look, some
you need to-
sun and
you
some
need-
fucking hot temperature and no
my
breeze.
mate come up. I was at the Isle of Man in 2015, and my mate from Nottingham come up on 2016. And honestly, it was probably the most ideal week. The temperature never went below 70 degrees for the whole
Nice.
4 days that he was here. And when he came up, it was a group called Hutch's Motorbike Forum. Don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's a guy. It's Dave Hutchins. His name was, and he created
Yeah,
a group
heard of
called Hutch's Motorbike Forum, and he used to do a trip every year. So they decided to come up to Scotland, and my mate Ross, I'd went down to Nottingham when I come back from the Isle of Man 2015. So I'd visited him, and he said, right, it's my turn. So he come up with the boys, but they stayed down in Largs, and my mate stayed with me. But they were coming up on the Saturday, and Ross come up on the Friday, and I said to him, right, we're going out. We're going out right now. I booked the time off. And we went out, and I knew the run that they were planning for the Saturday. So I took Ross on the final leg of that run, and I said, you're going to learn this road, because when you hit this road tomorrow, it's going to be a different road to you, to the one that I show you just now. He says, follow me, because I know this road at the back of my hand. Trust the lines I'm taking, but tomorrow you'll take your own lines, because you'll know the road. And we took this road, and seeing the Saturday when we stopped the bikes, and the Saturday I said, how was it? And he's like, oh man, that was just brilliant, because you had that day to learn the corners and to learn the surfaces and to learn the surroundings. And it was absolutely, what an experience. It was an experience for me, because like I'm seeing it from a different set of eyes, because to be quite honest, roads are I ride all the time, so you kind of get a wee bit complacent as to how good they are sometimes. So no, I don't have any hesitation that you're going to
We've
love.
got a few roads like that.
You're going to
do
love
get
it.
complacent.
Yeah. Because when I was down at Ross's in Newcastle, we went through Melton Mowbray and all that, and there's some lovely roads, some lovely flowing roads. It was absolutely fantastic. We actually went down to Chris Walker Kawasaki as well. We went down, I can't remember the name of that place down there by Nottingham. He's
It's like
moved
when we
now.
go-
I know he's moved now, but
It's like when I go on tour, I always take the guys, whether they're new or whether they've been with me before, I always take them through northern Luxembourg,
right.
because it's a gem. And I've done the
Yeah.
roads quite a few times now.
Yeah.
And you can really, the roads are just stunning.
Well,
But I've done the roads a few times now, so I'm getting
Aye.
to know them. But yeah,
So
the lads enjoy that.
we've got a section, and it's Tyndrum to Inverary, and you go over. It's called the Dalmally Pass. I've actually got it on my YouTube channel, and Andy, and you can actually watch the road. And in fact, the video on my YouTube channel, I actually lost my GoPro because it come off my bike. And it's Ride Out with Lockwood and something else. I can't remember the video, but anyway, you get if you go on and watch that video, you can see that road, and it's basically road, hills on the left, hills on the right. You've got a river down by your left hand side, and there's nothing else. You're just you, the bike, the road, and that's it. And it's
the missus.
beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
perfect, and it's like the road
Luggage
is
carrier.
just the road's just dropped onto the hillside, so it flows like that. And the thing about it is like when you're going from Tyndrum to Inverary, everything is an open corner. You can see, and in any overtaking opportunity, you can judge it. It's a perfect road. It's nice and flowing. The wee bit from Dalmally going to Inverary is a wee bit different, because the council tends to put out the stones and stuff like that every now and then, so it can be a wee bit what I would call challenging. But the Dalmally section is it's worth going on that alone. But there's again from going up to Oban and through Glencoe, and that's spectacular.
Yeah, so our first day we're up through Glencoe, through Fort William, and then staying out further out to the left. I can't remember the name of the place, Locklead or whatever it is. And then we're going to come back round, hit a bit of Skye, and then go up and round that way.
Yeah.
So we're going to do all that, but yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it.
No, it's going to be
good to pass the cattle. I fancy some of that. I'm kind of head case when it comes to that type of road. I love the technical ride. I love single tracks. I love hairpins.
Yeah.
And people look at you like you're off your nut because you've got full luggage on and the missus on the back, and you're just like, out of my way, mate, out of my way.
Yep.
Hold my beer.
As I
So,
say,
yeah, should we get?
you should.
How many times you done that, Andy? Yeah.
You what, mate?
How many times you done that? Fucking overtook the sports bike
It's
rider on
really-
a fucking technical. Yeah.
See
Oh,
that.
yeah.
In the missus. Yeah.
Remember what I was telling you in Red Bomb stream, and the fact of the boys that come up from England last year that were up visiting Lockwood, and they were all sort of emergency riders, and they all had it was like KTMs, BMWs. They all had the adventure bikes. We all had the kit on them, and we're all. My mate rides a GSX RK3, and my mate rides hard. And I'm talking about, I'm right at the limit of my skill to keep up with my mate. I can keep up with him, but I'm at my limit. And these boys were just sitting behind him like.
Yeah.
And my mate turned round and was like, ah, fair play, man. That was what a ride that was, because you could see them and just the way they were riding. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one that's been on my list to do for a while, and I think now's the right time, really. What with COVID the way it is, hopefully we're sort of seeing the end of it now to a degree. And
Well, I
obviously
think they're going to cancel everything at the end of this month, aren't they? And you can do whatever you want, whether you got it or not.
in this country, yeah.
In Scotland, they've pretty much stopped reporting about it. It's not even on the news anymore. You get the odd, the cases are X amount. It's as if there's been a kind of like a national memo went out to say, you know what, just fucking chuck it.
Yeah, enough's enough.
We're done. But they're not saying that to the public. They're still kind of putting out semi-serious messages. But you know what I mean? It's like, what more can you do, right? I've had the 2 Jags. I've had the booster. They can't turn around and say, right, you need another. No, I've done everything you've said. I'm not doing any more.
Yeah, I don't think they can do any more anyway. I think people have had enough.
Especially with the whole right, we're going to lock you down. No, you're not.
Yeah, I don't think
the bill would get passed. And even if it did get passed, I think people would be out in the street. I firmly believe.
I think you're right. Yeah, definitely. No one gives a
fuss. Had enough. I've worked. I only had 4 weeks off in the whole of the pandemic. I was back at work after 4 weeks, and that was only because my work put up the screens and did the 2 meter social distancing. They actually bought land next to them so that they could create space that they could put people that obviously, like, for the 2 meter distancing, they had to cut about 40% of the workforce from the area that they were in, but they built another area that they could put that 40% in, so they never lost any sort of workforce. But it took them 4 weeks to do that. So I've been working all the way through. My wife works in the hospital, so she's not stopped for two years. She's been in every COVID ward in the hospital up my way. So, and I haven't touched wood. I've not ever had it. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if they turned around to me and said, "Listen, you need to lock down," nah, mate, that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're doing all right over here, but you know, I've always been dubious about going away again because I've not toured Europe for 2 years now, and I used to go away 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? If we get stuck in Germany because we can't come through France to get home, we're buggered
Yeah.
because the French are closing their border to us as and when it suits them. So I'm hoping by next year we can actually do the tour we want to do because we want to do Italy, we want to do Sicily, we want to do Sardinia, and we want to do the loop.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to ride from here down to Florence, and then we're going to get on boats, do Sicily, do Sardinia, up into Monaco, and then back up that way. But like I say, we had to put all that on hold because you just don't know what country's going to throw you out next.
Yeah, that's it.
Next year, we can get back on it.
Let's hope
Get
so.
back on it. But yeah, I mean, it's like Simon's not been to America for a few years now.
3 years now. Yeah.
What I mean, yeah. Hopefully, we can get back out there. But I think Scotland this year is a good choice. We are looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the midges and the rain, but we'll get over.
Fingers crossed we'll get it dry. If we
Not
get
only
it dry
that,
at
it's
that
up
time,
there getting
that
your
time of the
fucking
year,
nerves, you know.
at that time of the year, if we get it dry, that's a good thing. Midges,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be too bothered. June, July, then that's when we need to worry about that. But
Yeah,
no,
I think we'll be.
we should be fine. We should be golden. Keep my fingers crossed. I'll do a rain dance the week before, so as we get it out of the way.
Actually, get it all out of the way. Yeah, we have been through. I mean, like I say, I've gone to Austria in July, and we've had 37 degrees, and then we've got up into the Groskel knocker. We've had -2 and snow.
Yeah.
You know, by the time we got to the bottom of the hill again, or bottom of the hill, say hill, mountain, it's back up to 30 degrees.
Yeah.
Strange old weather.
As I
think
say,
climate change, because we're getting a bit more of the dry stuff.
yeah, I mean, when my mate Ross come up, it was never went below 70. Sticky tires, great roads. As I say, I showed him the sort of final part of the route that we were taking on the Saturday. I showed him that on the Friday. I said, this is the way we're coming home. So pay attention to the road, the layout, the corners. Follow me. And that's what he did, and that's what we did. And come the Saturday, we did the first part where we got to Tyndrum, and then I was like to Ross, I said, right, you know this part now, you know what we're about to do, so you can push on now. So, and that's what he did, because when I led off, and my mate Ross was behind me, and when we got to the rest, and be thankful, the boy who was organising the trip actually grabbed Ross and took him aside and said, any chance you could tell your mate to slow down? And I was like, right, okay. But it was basically because we had done a recce mission the day before. So the two of us, as I've said, we knew the road, and I knew the road anyway because we ride it all the time. But it's like, any chance you could tell him to slow down, because a few of the boys are struggling to keep up, and that's fair. I don't have an issue with that. If people are, I don't want to put anyone in a position where they feel as if they're having to push themselves out with
That's
their
the
own
thing as well.
skill set.
When I'm on trips, I mean, because a lot of the trips I've done, they've all been solo riders. Yeah, I'm at the front, full luggage with pillion.
Yeah,
and I've still got to try and keep a pace to keep them happy.
Yeah,
and I know what pace to keep now to keep them happy. And when the missus punching me in the ribs, I'm pushing it too hard.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's and that again, that's something that people that are organising events don't understand nor appreciate. Is everyone that is on, you have to accommodate all the skill levels.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's like, because there's some people that like to ride at a certain speed and feel that if you're going at a certain speed, it pressurizes them into a sort of, they're out with their comfort zone, and you have to appreciate that, and you have to accept that.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite lucky when we go away, because we tend to go away with the same group of guys. Occasionally, we'll take someone new. But, yeah,
What we do when we go out is
You know, I was laughing at then, didn't you?
we do have a fast group. There's no doubt about it. We do have a fast group, but we have a group that aren't fast, but they're not slow either. If that makes sense.
Well, that's it as well.
Nobody will ever be left behind. That's just
Yeah,
the rule.
I mean,
Whether they're on
how
a
I
125 or otherwise, they will not be left behind. But there is a fast group. If you want to go in the fast group, by all means, on you go. If you want to get there and you're not by any stretch of the imagination going slow, but you're not going as fast as the others, then there's that group as well. You know, it's like you have to be careful because you don't want to push. I would hate that. I would hate to be leading a group and you push somebody into an uncomfortable situation and they make a mistake. That's the cardinal sin, isn't it? Because you've sort of pulled somebody along that wasn't ready yet.
It is as well, but I mean, it's
I
like
disagree
Simon.
with that to a degree. I disagree with that to a degree where whenever I've led a ride, I always say to the people, especially if you've got new people that have never ridden with the group before, do not try to keep up.
Yeah.
Rule number one. Don't try and keep up. When you get to the next junction, there will be somebody there waiting you to tell you which way you got to go.
Aye.
And there will normally be, if it's a large enough group, there will be somebody, and you look at that guy. If you see that guy coming up behind you, he will slow down, he will flash you, and he will let you pull out in front of you, because that is a tail end guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're dealing with a large enough group, that means I can ride whatever pace I want to at the front. And the only time I will ever slow down is if I look in my mirrors and there is no motorcycle behind me at all.
Yeah.
And I'm about to make a course deviation, which means turning off of the main route.
Yeah.
So if you get to a roundabout, T-junction, whatever, if I'm not going straight ahead, there is nobody behind me and I'm about to turn left or right. And then I will stop.
Yeah.
And that has never happened. It's corner man system.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Mark Ayrshire Vlogster that was on. It's like he was part of the Basic Bikers. Mark's, I don't know if you know the history, but Mark's sort of stepped away from the Basic Bikers now.
Yeah.
And he's back sort of trying to sort of push his own channel. But Mark was a massive advocate of the sort of taking care of everyone that was on the ride, be it that somebody was up front, there was a middle rider and then a rider at the back as well. So everyone knew the route and it was well managed, and that was one of the things and that was through like when he was doing his like emergency response training. That was something that he sort of took pride in, and he made sure that everyone that came out on a run understood that that's the way it was going to be, and that was what allowed him to actually say, you know what, we're 125 friendly, and we were. And I can tell you right now, there was 1000cc bikes that sat behind 125 bikes quite happily, because the 125 riders were capable of keeping, I'm not talking about like ridiculous speeds, but they were able to keep a nice flow through
the national speed limit.
Yes, absolutely. So like it wasn't a massive stretch for the 1000cc bikes to be sitting behind a 125 and keeping them safe.
Also, as well, Simon and I mean, the way we ride when we're out on our own compared to when we've got a pillion is completely different.
Yeah.
I will push it harder when I'm on my own than I would ever dare to push it with a missus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
See,
that's the thing as well.
I don't ever carry a pillion. Ever.
You lucky fucker.
I'd probably say I've done more mileage with a pillion than I have single.
Yeah. And the reason I won't is when I throw my leg over a bike, I accept everything that I do and everything that I risk. But I can't honestly say that a pillion can accept everything the same way because they can't be in control of everything. So
No, they can't. They can't. But when
If
my
it-
wife gets on the back of my bike, she puts her life in my hands
Yeah.
as much as she does when she sits in the passenger seat of a car.
Everyone else do that noise.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I just
therefore, if I'm getting on a bike or I'm getting in the car and I'm in control of that vehicle, then I'm as much in control of her life as I am mine.
yeah.
So, and I've been on the bike when Tracy has had to rabbit punch me, as I have been, whereas she's patting me on the back and said, "Well done."
my concerns are that the repercussions for getting it wrong on a bike and getting it wrong in a car are totally different. So I'm willing
Yes.
to accept whatever happens to me. That's probably the point I'm trying to make.
Mhm.
Is I'm willing to accept what happens to me if I get it wrong on a bike. I wouldn't
Mhm.
live with myself if I got it wrong and I had somebody else on the back with me. I just wouldn't live.
I agree with you 100% on that. I really do, Zed. I agree with you 100% on that. But it's probably why I've started doing the advanced stuff.
Yeah.
It's because, and it's like the incident Rev Bomb talked about. Um, the guy that had the accident today.
Yeah.
And I said to Rev, and the first thing that I said when I looked at the video, I said, well, while the guy was approaching that entrance to the roundabout, he didn't look down it because the camera was a front facing camera. So it's got everything he's looking towards.
Yeah.
And he didn't look down that road as that vehicle was approaching. And if he had a done, he, with experience, he may have recognised that that vehicle's travelling way too fast to slow down and stop to give way to me. So I might want to either one or two things: accelerate or slow down.
Yeah.
And you could have avoided that accident. So the
There's a,
advanced riding takes over, and
but
you start,
there's a whole other
you're doing things different.
yeah, totally. I totally get that, and there's a whole other context as well because I'm a father of three. My
Yeah.
wife is never into bikes, but the thing about it with me is I would love to. Some of the journeys that I've taken, some of the things that I've seen on the bike, I would love to take her, and I would love to do it. And I know it would be safe. I know I would be safe because it's me that's riding, and I'm 100% confident in that. But it's like it's having that extra guardian angel on your shoulder, be it the training, the experience. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's maybe.
A lot of
Do
it
you,
comes from age and experience.
but do you think it's something that maybe has to be explored in the sense of before you carry a pillion, you have to take an additional test, or do you think it should just be down to the fact of personal judgment?
I could teach you how to carry a pillion, and then another pillion would get on, which would react completely
Oh,
different.
yeah, totally. Because you have
So
a neutral
yeah.
pillion that will follow the bike, and then you have another. I get that.
So as for a test or something for a
With it,
pillion, I don't think you could do it. I
no,
do.
I
I
have
really honestly.
I have carried pillions before. It's just like I'm trying to be a devil's advocate on the
Yeah.
on this pillion sort of scenario. It's like it is like something that a lot of people would like to do and maybe are considering doing. But do you think it requires additional skills, or do you think that the training that we get is adequate for you to make that decision yourself?
If you started talking about additional skills for a pillion, you're then talking about training a pillion to be a pillion.
That's a very good point.
You can do it
That's
Yeah.
a very good point.
Because
the
to
other
be
way.
honest with you, the first time I ever took my wife on the back of my bike, she was the worst pillion I can hand on heart say I'd ever taken on a motorbike.
Have you still got the
I'll tell you what,
marks? Have you still
I'll
got the
tell you what,
marks on your side?
I've got the marks up the back of my levers. We braked to go into a roundabout, and because she'd moved on the seat, halfway through the roundabout, she decided she needed to put herself back into her seat.
Yeah.
And now you know what happens when a pillion puts their foot pressure on the pegs.
Yeah.
It controls the bike. Halfway through that roundabout, the bike stood up, wanted to turn left.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with that at the time. And we pulled over, and I said, Trace, you can't do that. She said, do what? I said, you cannot push on the pegs
Yeah.
while we're riding. And she said, why not? I said, because you control the bike at that point.
Yeah.
Do I? I said, yes. I said, right, there's a nice, as we turned off at this junction on the roundabout, there's a nice dual carriageway here. It goes on for about half a mile. While we're riding along, you're going to do this. You're going to push on this peg. You're going to push on that peg. And I'm not doing anything I promised. And we started riding along. I said, right, push on the right peg. She didn't, bike turn right. I said, push on the left, turn left. She said, are you not doing that? I went, no, you are.
And that's a quality lesson right there.
Yeah. So I said, right, okay. So now you can understand that if you start fiddling about and doing things on the back seat, you can control the bike at whatever speed we're doing, whether it's 40
Yeah.
mile an hour, 50 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, or 90 mile an hour. You are controlling the bike. She went, all right. And I'll tell you what, she went away and she watched about, she says, a dozen YouTube videos on how to be a pillion. And now, when Tracy is on the back of my bike, if I'm barreling into a roundabout at whatever miles an hour, I decide I'm going to brake late, I'm going to pitch it left, I'm going to pitch it right, I'm going to flick it over. Tracy follows me. And she says, you forgot. She says, you forgot I was here, didn't you? And I will honestly say, yes, I did. Because she's
neutral. Yep. Yep.
She's copying. She even copies my body position.
Yep.
So when we're cornering, she's mimicking me, and all she does it is by her words. She puts her hands on my hips, and that's all she does. And as soon as she feels my body start tilt and move, she will start tilt and move. And that is why I forget she's there. Also, she's fallen asleep on the back of her bike, but with something different altogether. But yeah, and that is how Tracy has become my perfect pillion, because she will copy and move and do everything she sees my body move. She will do it, but she is also looking at the road, and she's seeing where the road is going and she's actually anticipating now what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And she's preparing for it beforehand. So she is actually riding the bike as much as I am.
And that's probably something that I maybe haven't considered, is the fact that somebody who consistently rides pillion can start to anticipate road surfaces, and they can anticipate there's a roundabout coming. He's going to slow. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And
That's the thing that
they just go A, B, C, D. They start painting the picture for themselves.
Yeah.
That's a naivety of me, maybe.
I mean, I'm lucky that the missus rides her 125 herself. So she knows our bike is controlled anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a pillion as well, she doesn't try and control the bike like Simon. She'll follow me. I can play with the best of them with a pillion on. And yeah, you do build up a bond, obviously, as it's your missus anyway. But I mean, you do build up. It takes time to get to that level. You can't just throw someone on the back of the bike and expect them to be. It's never going to happen.
No.
You know, you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of building up the pillion's confidence in you. You building up their confidence, and then you do ride as one. But obviously, as well, if I'm going to overtake, I'll night time, Mrs. will know, but I will say I'm going round this one, and then she'll know there's going to be an increase in power. I won't tell her if I'm just going to breeze past a car. But if I'm going to knock it down and I'm going to give it some beans to get round 2 cars or whatever, so I've got a limited gap, I will tell her.
I remember the first
helps.
time I actually rode pillion. I was on the back, and it was
I'm a terrible pillion. Hands up, I hate it.
Well, the first time that I rode pillion, I just started my apprenticeship. I'm a engineer to trade, so I started my apprenticeship, and my cousin's husband had a GSXR 750, and he basically snapped a bolt, a header bolt, and I had a set of screw extractors, and I extracted the bolt, and I retapped the head and put a new stud in, and we built the bike back up again, put the header back on, put the fairings back on, and he said, right, it's a treat. He says, I've got a helmet. He says, I know it'll fit you, and I tried it on, it fitted, and he said, I'll take you for a run. And he said to me, when I tap your leg on the right hand side, he said, I'm going to tap it twice. He said, I'm overtaking. He said, so you have to brace because the bike's going to accelerate. And that's all he said to me. And I hadn't even passed my car test at that time because I was only 16. So I went out in the bike, and every time that he came up to a car, there was a clear road ahead. That's what he did. Just that double tap on my leg. Just to start off, he never did it for the whole journey because I think he understood by maybe 4 or 5 times that he did it that I understood, and I was ready because like I was watching what was happening. And something as simple as that. Nowadays we have obviously like comms or whatever that we can communicate that instead of just like a double tap. And that's where I think comms is vital, and it's a good thing to have between pillion and rider, and that's a case of right. Okay, I can see a clear bit of road. When I get past this corner, I'm going to pull out and I'm going to overtake. So if you're communicating with your pillion, that's something that the two of you have prepared for. And that's a good thing. But at that time, that's what my cousin's husband did. Just a wee double tap on the leg to let me know that he was taking off.
Yeah, that works as well. But I mean, Tracy and I have ridden pillion for many years, as Andy and Michelle have, and the pillion will know when you're going to do something because they're reading the road. They are thinking like you.
Yeah.
So Tracy will know if there's a gap, and if it looks big enough to get a motorbike through, then yeah, Simon's going to go through that gap.
Yeah, and
so.
the fact of the matter is that if you've got a pillion that the first time they see that gap and you overtake, and they know how quickly you get out and get in and how calm the situation was, they're going to understand that the next time that situation arises, the same thing's going to happen because they know, right, this bike's more than capable of getting out and getting in. So it becomes they gain that knowledge that you already know, but you just by doing it and them experiencing it, they can understand.
I mean, since Tracy and I have been pillion as well, we've always had intercoms.
Yeah.
And so we can talk to each other, and we'll talk about everything while we're riding, whether it's what we're doing next weekend, what do you want for dinner tomorrow night, I've got to go shopping Thursday. And we're talking about anything. And there are been a few overtakes I've done, and she said, fuck me, that was close. And I'm like, that was 8 foot. And she said, he's 8 foot big, and I said, it's taller than you. So,
yeah.
I think the worst one
and
is
you do that, and you get those conversations in the early days of riding with a permanent pillion where they'll go, oh, fucking hell, that was really fast, and that was this, and you go, actually, it wasn't because of this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And you start explaining it to someone like Tracy, and because she's the type of person she is, she'll start analysing everything. And she's looking at this, she's looking at that, and she said, "When you did this, and when you did that, this was happening, and that was happening." I go,
Yeah.
"Was it? I saw this much room, and I saw that much gap, and I overtook, and I knew I'd make it." So,
And see, just as we're talking about this, I'm actually thinking about this from like my perspective. My wife's never been on the back of a bike. She's never ridden a motorbike, and I'm thinking to myself, right, Joe set up on the helmets, so she's got a center, and I basically take my wife on the bike and I explain to her, I basically put her into situations and say, Louise, can you look up the road and tell me if there's any cars coming? Is there a car coming? No, there's not. Right. You're telling me there's not a car coming. I can see there's not a car coming. I'm going to overtake and talk her through, but film the journey as well at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it would be quite informative, not only for the biker that's actually carrying the pillion, but for the pillion as well.
We do rides, and I've done drives of the same thing. It's commentary rides or commentary drive, where you're talking about everything you see.
Yeah.
And Tracy, I will admit, was a nervous passenger to start it, hence the first roundabout incident. Everything. I said, right, I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing. And I started talking like a commentary ride, like I used to for the ambulance service, where you were talking about all the vehicles that are around you, what's coming up, what that sign was, what this did, and it is constant. It's a constant commentary of everything you're doing the second you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I did that for 5 minutes, and she said, "For fuck's sake, shut up."
Yeah.
Because you've just told me in 5 minutes more than I'm absorbing. So just do it.
And that's a very valid thing, because like I've got like where I stay, there's a little seaside town called Largs, and there's a back road which heads over the moor and down into where I stay, and we go down there quite a lot. And obviously when I'm taking the family, I'm taking the car. So when I'm coming back up the road, I'm taking that road in the mind of a biker, but I'm driving a car. So when I'm sitting behind a car and I'm saying, why are they braking there? Because look round the corner. I can see can you see right round the corner? Because I can see right up to that corner, that point up there. There's nothing there. Why are they braking? Why are they slowing down? I said, this corner doesn't taper off. It's not sharp. And like constantly talking about left, right. And by the time, I mean, I've been doing, my oldest daughter's 16. We've been doing that journey for that 16 years, because there's a play park down in Largs, and we go on the seafront, we eat ice cream. So, and I've always done that. As for every time that I've been a biker, I've always done it. And when we're coming home, my wife's like that. So how do you see that far up the road? I said, because Louise, see, when I'm on the bike, I have to see that far up the road. I have to actually be thinking 4 or 5 corners ahead of where I am, and thinking, what's coming up? What's the surroundings? Is there a farm road coming off the road, or whatever it is?
That's a point that I pick up on, and I've picked up on, and nobody's ever come back to me on. Why should it be that I have to see that far when I'm on the bike, when I don't have to look that far in the car?
I think you do.
You should be looking that far when you're in a car on a bike.
And like
subconsciously, I think you think about it more on a bike, because you are very aware on a bike that you are that much more vulnerable than you are in a car.
Andy, that's exactly the thing.
Exactly it. Well, you're not less vulnerable to an accident whether you're in a car or on a bike. You're less vulnerable to injuries if you're in a car.
I think
it's only the injury part, isn't it?
I think there's a kind of a complacency about, like, when you're in a
That's
car
it, exactly.
with
That's the word, exactly. Complacency.
with the simple fact that even that if it does go wrong, that it's 4 tires that are trying to slow the car down. It's not 2. There's more variables that are in your favour. Let's put it that way, than you were if you were riding
If
a
you're
bike.
going to brake in the car, you've got at least 16 inches of rubber that's going to stop you.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
braking on the bike, you've got about 4
So
Yeah.
at the most.
do car drivers think that far up ahead? Probably
Yeah.
not. Do I?
Right.
Yeah, I do. I do, because I know the road. The roads that I'm driving on, yeah, I know the road, and I know what I should be doing or what I could be doing if I was on my bike. And I always, my wife, I'm like, see, at this point, I'd overtake him and I'd be on this corner, I'd be slowing down and so on and so forth. And I can see that it's clear and so on and so forth. And that's the way I think. I always think like a bike rider, even when I'm driving. And that's the point that I was making when I was
Yeah,
saying,
we do.
if I'm in a car, you do your lifesavers.
I think if
It's-
you're talking to anybody on this live stream or anybody that's still listening, I don't know how many are still watching, but I mean, you're preaching the converted. We do.
Yeah.
That is what we
definitely.
do. How?
you
But
think-
what I want to know is how we convert that to those that don't. How do we do that? We can't. It's
It's hard. It's very,
Mm.
very hard. It's very, very hard to the knowledge that we have as bikers and as car drivers to put that into somebody that doesn't ride a bike. They're never going to understand the value of a
they're never going to
lifesaver.
understand how vulnerable you are.
Absolutely,
out there.
and they're never going to be
gonna.
looking. They're not going to be looking for you. They don't understand some of the maneuvers we make.
Mhm.
Simply sometimes avoiding potholes. They don't
Yeah.
understand the
There was a
sudden
brilliant
changes
post
of
I saw.
direction.
Yeah, there was a brilliant post I saw that said that if you see me weaving all over the road or something else, I'm not riding recklessly. I'm avoiding potholes and being attacked by side crosswinds.
Yeah.
That's all it said. And
That's
you're right. Because even on my big bike, I mean, I'll be riding up the road and at a 30-mile-an-hour road, and all of a sudden I'll swerve.
Yeah.
And the car driver might think, "What the fucking hell is he doing that for?" It's because I just spotted the manhole cover,
yep.
and it's soaking wet. I don't want to ride over it. All right, it's not going to knock me off, but I don't want to ride over it.
Yeah.
So,
I used to ride from Coatbridge to Glasgow Airport. It was about 22 miles, and there was a point at Hillington that it was probably about a 2 mile straight. But see, when you turned the corner and hit this 2 mile straight, if you were in the middle lane, if the winds were strong enough, it could push you from the middle lane to the outside lane in a heartbeat. And I'm when I'm talking about pushing you to the outside lane, I'm talking about to the near enough the stones on the outside of the outside lane. It was right close to the verge. You actually, when you rode this 2 mile straight, had to lean into the wind. That's how
Yeah.
strong it could be. Not all the time, but it could be if you weren't aware of it. So, like when sorry, Andy, on you go.
Sorry, I thought I'm gonna have to shoot off in a minute, but just a quick question, Stuart. Do you think you would actually ride your bike more and do a lot more riding and touring if your wife did go pillion a lot more or go pillion with you? The reason I ask is because there's no way on this planet I'd be able to spend 2 weeks in Scotland or 3 weeks in Europe if my missus wasn't on board.
No,
Because it'd be, why can't we go on holiday instead of why are you going away for 3 weeks?
no,
Are you with me?
no. I fully understand that. It's like when I met my
Is it
wife, I
something
was.
you think you'd enjoy if she did actually say, "Look, I really want to come with you."
I would love her. I would love her to come along. There's no doubt about that. But I'm not restricted in my bike riding because she doesn't come along either. Because I've
Which is good.
always ridden bikes before I met her. So it's a
Unless you're on
case
a
of
bike ride, I'm remembering.
it's all.
If you said to your missus, "I'm going to Europe for 3 weeks," and I'm going on a bike, would you have any conflict, or would she just say,
No,
"No, that's
no.
fine"?
She'll be like, right, okay, I'll see you when you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's what she
Can
did
I
with
have
Isle
his
of
wife?
That was what happened with Isle of Man. I'm going to Isle of Man for the TT for a week. Right, okay, see you when you get back. Enjoy yourself. and that was it.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's the
sort
way
of-
it is with my bike riding. It's like there's no.
You know, a lot of
I
people
don't,
wear
I don't have any
backwards-
handcuffs on me. It's like I would love her to experience what I'm experiencing. I would love to bring her along, but she's just not into bikes. She just doesn't like it. So it's like, see, the good thing about it is, Andy, see, when I go away and I have my experiences, like when you guys come up and we're away riding and I come back and I'll tell her the stories about it, she likes that. She enjoys that because she can see how much it's affected me and how happy I am and so on and so forth. And I come back from a bike ride a more balanced person, if you can understand that. If I've got any stresses and strains that I've sort of accumulated during my working life, that when I'm out on a bike, it just blows away. I come back and I'm rejuvenated, and I'll say, right, what are we doing? Are we going here? Are we doing this? What are we doing? Whereas, like, if I don't go riding, I'm like a bear in a cage. But no, she's cool with it. I don't have any restraints in that respect. If I was to turn around tomorrow and say, listen, Andy said there's a tour going in Europe for a week, can I go? She'd be like, I'll get your passport. See you later.
I need his wife.
There's a lot of people that it can cause a lot of risk, can't it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's cool. She's cool that way. It's like I play lawn bowls. I play bowls. It's like my whole life is like yin and yang. It's like I ride a motorbike at 100 and God knows what miles an hour, but I play lawn bowls, which
70
a lot of
mile
people,
hour. 70 mile hour.
a lot of a lot of people class as an old man sport, but I've played it since I was 13. And my summer is actually a conflict between riding bikes and playing lawn bowls. And there's sometimes that I should be riding my bike that I'm playing bowls, and there's sometimes I should be playing bowls that I'm riding my bike. But I've always played bowls. As I say, my mum and dad are club champions, and I've played in the national championships in Scotland as well. So I've played at quite a high level. So I've like, if I'm not bowling, I'm riding my bike. So you can understand that from April to September, my wife's quite happy with a picture in her purse of me, because I'm very rarely in. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same because I do a lot of shooting as well. So obviously, bike riding's tied in with good weather, and so is shooting. So
yeah,
I'm pretty much the same like you are with your bowls. I'll go out shooting. So it's a juggle. The missus is not into that in any way, shape, or form. So
no, she's not into the bowls either. But
Yeah.
I have managed to, if I've got one day events on at the bowling club, I've managed to now encourage her to come along, because she can sit outside and have a drink and watch the bowls, and she doesn't need to understand it. She just needs to know that that's what I'm doing and that's where I am. Do you understand what I mean? It's like,
Oh yeah. Too right. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
on that note, guys, I'm going to shoot off.
Yeah, I'm going to
Brilliant.
say I'm going to end this stream now.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Zed, thank you ever so much for joining in, mate.
not a problem.
It's always a pleasure to have you along, mate.
It's been fantastic. Listen, guys, Andy,
That's right.
thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. Simon, thank you very much again for inviting me onto a live stream.
You're
It's been
welcome.
fantastic.
You're welcome, man.
I really
You're welcome.
appreciate it. You all
You're
take
good.
care now.
Andy,
Right.
you look after yourself, brother.
Yeah, and I'll speak to you soon. See you all soon,
we'll
guys.
talk soon.
Bye now.
Right. Night,
Take
fellas.
care.
Keep it
All the
rubber
best.
side down. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ta-da.
Take care.